This evening, 4-day International Energy Conference in Expo commences. 10 prison officers certified for ABE accredited prison management courses. The impact of crime on the Parfait Harmony community. In the region, Honduras family flee as criminal gangs seek to recruit children. And internationally, Philippines. 2 months on, Typhoon Rai victims are still homeless. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. The 4-day International Energy Conference and Expo, hosted at the Marriott in Kingston, was officially opened earlier today. President Ali, delivering the keynote address at the official opening ceremony, said Guyana would be able to diversify its economy with the effective use of funds from the oil and gas sector. He stated that Guyana has an open-door policy to investors, but noted that their investment must ensure Guyanese are also benefiting. Attending the ceremony are the President of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency Chandrasekaran Prasad Santokhi, President of Suriname, and Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley. The conference has also attracted hundreds of investors from around the world. During his address, the president said, despite having billions of dollars worth of natural resources, Ghana lacked the capital required to have a prosperous economy. He said Ghana's natural characteristics present a potent opportunity for investors to tackle global food security, and opportunities for investment in agriculture are vast. He also pointed out that Ghana and Barbados are in discussion to twin their tourist products. In the area of energy, President Ali said Ghana, Suriname, and Brazil are working together to develop an energy corridor. This will help to propel Ghana's manufacturing industry, and it falls in line with the government's aim to reduce electricity costs by 50%. In closing, the president said the development of the country's energy mix remains a priority for the government, pointing out Guyanese must be afforded quality education, healthcare, social services, and be able to retire with dignity. The energy conference, held under the theme Charting a Sustainable Energy Future, is the first of its kind to be held under the PPPC administration. 10 officers from the Ghana Prison Service have attained the ABE endorsed certificates in the field of prison management. Esther Sobers has more.
10 top-performing officers from the Ghana Police Force have successfully attained ABE endorsed certificates in the field of prison management. The various course content was strategically determined by the Service Training and Recruitment Department and academic professionals of the ABE to cater to unique needs of the officers. The Training Department, Strategic Management Departments, and Directorate selected the subject areas that best suit the rank structure of officer within the Ghana Prison Service. As such, these top-performing officers were, and the others to come will be able to gain insight into new information that is fundamental specifically to prison management and internationally accepted norms for managing inmates in a correctional facility. This new collection of information will strengthen and advance the techniques and practices within the GPS, boost productivity among staff, encourage teamwork, and amplify resource management. The GPS has a positive outlook on educating its staff. As such, management structures are devised to continuously encourage officers to capitalize on training opportunities available locally, regionally, or internationally to enhance officers' competency. The Service Strategic Plan sees that the human capital of its critical to daily sustainability of safe daily operations. Thus, of its 8 pillars, enhancing human resource management and development is on the top 3 lists. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. On Friday, the National COVID-19 Task Force announced that the curfew has been lifted. On Monday, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony said, despite the removal of the curfew, other COVID-19 measures remain in place. Dr. Anthony noted that persons still need to wear masks, socially distance, and follow all other protocols to guard against the disease.
I would urge people, not because we have lifted the curfew, that they can return to this level of normalcy. You still have to take the precautions. And as we increase the amount of vaccination, getting people boosted and so forth, then we probably would be able to consider removing some of the other public health measures, but we are not there as yet.
The minister reminded that although the vaccination numbers are gradually increasing, many persons have not yet taken the vaccine and therefore remains vulnerable to the disease. Ghana is still far away from returning to normalcy and the vaccination rates need to be improved, he said.
In countries in Europe and other places where they have started to remove like mask wearing and so forth, those countries have very high vaccination rates. And it's not just the first dose, they have persons who have been boosted, and their rates are close to 90% of the population being boosted. We are not there as yet.
The minister noted that vaccines are available and people need to get inoculated. The curfew was in place in Guyana since the onset of the pandemic in March of 2020. Stick around after the break. COVID-19 samples obtained from Ghana are being tested for the Omicron variant by the Caribbean Public Health Agency and the impact of crime on the Parfait Harmony community.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our store, you are welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. Our convenient location at the City Mall is the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. So treat yourself with a taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown, only at Maison Francois.
Welcome back. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony said the ministry sent 20 samples taken from COVID-19 patients to the Caribbean Public Health Agency to test for the Omicron variant. Guyana recorded a spike in COVID-19 cases at the end of December 2021. This spike, health officials suspected, was due to the highly transmissible Omicron variant. The symptoms were found to be less severe with a shorter duration period.
One of the things that we do is to take samples from patients and we send them to confirm which variants are circulating in Guyana. And over the weekend, we would have sent 20 samples to parfait for confirmation. So we'll expect the results of the sequencing perhaps in 2 to 3 weeks from now. And once we get that, we'll let you know what are the variants that are circulating. But clinically, we are convinced that we've had in the late December, January, February period, we would have seen a conversion from Delta to Omicron because of the clinical picture that we have been seeing over this period of time.
Dr. Anthony said the samples would confirm whether or not the variant is circulating in the country. He said the results are expected within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Meanwhile, positive cases have been decreasing significantly. There are currently 1,841 active cases. However, the minister said the number is expected to drop this week. Further, 66 persons are currently hospitalized, 50 of whom are at the Ocean View Hospital, with 9 persons in the intensive care unit. As the suburbs went on the streets of Le Parfait Harmony to find out how crime has affected the people who live there, here's more.
According to the Guyana Police Force, the crime statistics for 2021 in the country has shown a decrease of 20%. Nonetheless, the devastation that criminal elements wreak on community continues to affect some people. One such community that has been plagued by constant burglary is Le Parfait Harmony. Headline News spoke to a resident who is a victim of crime in the area. For safety purposes, she requested her identity not to be revealed on camera. How have you been affected by the crime situation?
I'm in Parfait Harmony since 2014. The 1st of August, 2014. The crime affects me a lot because my house broke 4 times and I never get no justice. All the police just say they find fingerprint. And I never hear back nothing. One time they said we find a guy. And I went to court one time. I never got to go back to court. And now when I saw one of the police on the road, they said the guy get 2 years. Or somebody get 2 years. And I is the victim. And I'm present in court for going or then call me and tell me that the person gets sentenced. So I don't know if the police lying or if they're telling the truth. Because I wasn't there to know that the person get 2 years.
If you ever saw, you know who's the person, you can identify the guy.
What they said I arrested, I only saw the boy one time. This when I went at the court the first time. The time I got to come to court. And when I go, I saw the guy and I don't know the child.
What more do you think needs to be done to this community to decrease the crime rate?
Police, patrols. And when you go to the station too, most time them and got vehicle. They say them and got vehicle. Instant like December, the house down there, a house not far from here, house the break. The girl go to the police aunt and now they say the police never come.
In 2019, a $65 million police station was commissioned in Le Parfait Harmony, built to better protect and serve the community. Since its inception, various residents have expressed their opinions on whether or not they have witnessed a decrease in crime.
Yeah, they need to get more system in place where the police them should be more upon alert in Parfait because there are a lot of youngsters doing a lot of things in Parfait, doing crime and this kind of thing. They need to be more upon duty in Parfait.
When was the last time you heard of a crime being committed in this area?
Nearly every day. Nearly every day something going on. Most times something happening, the police in there, the police there, so the bandit is more smarter than the police them.
The crime that has been up in our community would be stick up with and taking people's phone and back. I haven't been hearing much about that lately. So I think it has been eased in this area.
Robbery under arms has seen a decrease of 33.6%. There has been a 19.5% decrease in the offense of murder, with 124 such incidents until December last year, compared to 154 for the same period last year, according to the Guyana Police Force. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away. After the break, Honduras families flee as criminal gangs seek to recruit children, and campaigning for the next president kicks off in South Korea. But before that, here's the bridge retraction schedule.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Maison Francois is the chocolate paradise of Guyana. From the moment you enter our store, you are welcomed by the sweet aroma of Belgian chocolate, pastries and other artisanal treats handmade by our European-trained chef. Our convenient location at the City Mall is the perfect place to take that special someone or to take home a little sweetness. So treat yourself with a taste of Paris in the heart of Georgetown, only at Maison Francois.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. In Central America, Honduras has one of the highest murder rates in the world. It is driving people out of their homes and out of the country, including families trying to protect their children from being recruited to criminal gangs. Al Jazeera's Manuel Rapallo has more.
At a late-night crime scene in Tegucigalpa, a shootout raged between gang members and police in the Villanueva neighborhood, leaving at least 7 dead.
There's insecurity for everyone. We can't live here any longer, but we've no place else to go because other places are dangerous too. We're in dire need and I don't know what to do. Stay here or leave the country.
Many here say blood-soaked streets, littered with bullet casings, have become an all-too-common sight.
Authorities tell us that scenes of brutal violence, like this one in the Honduran capital, are just the tip of the iceberg in a far more complex security situation that affects nearly every corner of the country.
In Honduras's poorest neighborhoods, gangs, particularly MS-13 and the 18th Street Gang, are notorious for crimes like extortion and for the recruitment of young children. Those who resist often pay with their lives. This young mother, who has asked us to hide her identity, says she was tortured by gang members and forced to flee her home after refusing to pay extortion money.
We've faced humiliation. We've lost our house because of the gangs. My children cry and say to me, "Mum, it would be good for us to go someplace else where they won't want to kill us." Imagine a 7-year-old boy saying that to you.
A lack of confidence in Honduran authorities means victims of violence seldom report crimes to police. And security experts say collusion between criminal groups and government officials permeates across all levels of society.
Unfortunately, we see that different politicians and government leaders have been linked to drug trafficking. We see that there are high rates of impunity, corruption, and weakness in the rule of law.
Eber Ordóñez, a deputy police commissioner, tells Al Jazeera that despite modest advances in reducing the national homicide rate, reining in the violence often feels like a losing battle.
In comparison to previous years, the incidence of crime has actually decreased, but perhaps in some communities it's risen due to factors like local culture or in communities where gangs exist in great numbers.
Honduras has a rate of 38 homicides per 100,000 residents, making it one of the most dangerous countries in Latin America. International observers predict that thousands of Hondurans will be displaced from their homes in 2022, a challenge that cannot be addressed without a drastic reduction in the violence plaguing the country. Manuel Rapalo, Al Jazeera, Tegucigalpa.
Internationally, campaigning for South Korea's presidential election officially began on Tuesday in what is expected to be the tightest race in 20 years. Al Jazeera's Rob McBride reports.
This, like most elections before it, is likely to be a straight two-horse race between a conservative, Yoon Suk-yeol, and his liberal opponent, Lee Jae-myung, with both of them fighting against their own unpopularity, a fact they seem to accept.
Two-party politics with vested interest offer limited choices. As a result, people are left to bite the bullet and choose the lesser of the two evils.
Neither has international standing, but they are vying for a job that now has global reach. There's South Korea's importance in the world economy, especially in high-tech manufacturing. Its cultural clout is growing through movies, drama and K-pop. And its key geopolitical role in Sino-US relations, as well as its fraught dealings with North Korea. The outgoing Liberal President Moon Jae-in has made it his mission to improve inter-Korean ties. But his term is ending with the North increasing its missile testing, with the threat of launching longer-range ballistic missiles that have brought the peninsula to the brink of conflict in the past.
There is a high possibility that various missile tests will be conducted intensively after the presidential election on March 9th.
And if he wins, Yoon Suk-yeol has promised a tougher line with the North, including the possibility of preemptive strikes against its newly developed hypersonic missiles.
If it's carrying a nuclear weapon, the time it will take to reach the capital area and commit a massacre is under a minute. It's practically impossible to intercept.
Whether or not this election will result in worsening inter-Korean relations, what's almost guaranteed is its fair share of controversy. Both candidates come into this race marred by domestic scandal, and that's before the campaign mudslinging really gets underway. This is a country where the job of president has often ended in the disgrace of coups, resignations, or imprisonment. As this campaign starts, Park Geun-hye returns to life as an ordinary citizen following her pardon and release from a 22-year sentence, one of 4 former presidents to have spent time behind bars. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera, Seoul.
And finally, it has been 2 months since Typhoon Rai devastated large areas in central Philippines. Nearly 10 million people were affected by the storm, with at least 2.4 million people still in need of help. Al Jazeera's Jamala Amadugan reports.
Jesse Garcia thought it was just an ordinary typhoon. They said they were by the seaside with their children until the water rose like a wall.
Yung scene, tumitila po na.
All of a sudden, our roofs were blown away and we had to swim away from the current with our children. It was terrible, terrible. But all of us survived, thankfully.
Jesse said their house and his boat, which he once used for fishing, is now destroyed.
This coastal village in Ubay is one of the worst hit areas here in the province of Bohol. Survivors here tell us some of them were able to salvage a few pieces of whatever is left of their homes. But for what they say, when they're not even allowed to rebuild here anymore.
Typhoon Rai, locally known as Odette, caused extensive damage in the Visayas and the Mindanao region. It killed at least 400 people and displaced millions more. Government officials say the damage is comparable to Super Typhoon Haiyan in 2013, the strongest storm on global record. According to the United Nations, more than 2 million people are in dire need of assistance, and access to food, shelter, and medicine remains limited. Hundreds of towns are still without power and running water.
Polanons are a hardy folk. They're a hardy race, and they're used to confronting these hardships. But of course, we need all the help we can get, considering that 200,000 people, about 80,000, have totally destroyed homes right now.
Erlinda Jumawas is now homeless. Her 15-square-meter home was swept away by the storm surge. Nothing is left, she said, and they feel grateful if they are able to eat twice a day. The situation here is repeated many times over. At least 4 other provinces remain in desperate need of aid. There are communities which were already reeling from the economic impact of the pandemic, so Typhoon Rai's devastation has actually scaled back recovery efforts even further. Jamel Alindogan, Al Jazeera, Bohol Province, Central Philippines.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is it for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. Tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.